Archangel's Journey. I'm Shakira. Yes, it's Monday and my hair is out for a couple of days, so enjoy. Right, so I took off yesterday to recharge my batteries and I've been up, got my walk in and on the treadmill. I'm drinking my blue machine, whatever. The light's not the best, so I apologize for that. Mm. But I wanted to come in here and get some more practice in. I learned something that's fascinating today, so I want to jump in and look at it. Kind of ways to look at the London session, or pretty much get a feel for what the range for the day might be. So I want to play with that. So if that sounds like a good time, drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe. Let's get tiny, because I'm not what you really need to see up in here. The charts is what we really need to see. All right, so let's dip in here and I'm going to grab my back testing because I am massively curious about this potential. All right, so let me go ahead and clear everything off of here. All right, so what are we looking at? Still pretty bullish. Starting the day nice and somewhat bullish, not much of a Judah swing. What I'm curious about though is let's drop down to the 15-minute, set at auto, and let's not use, actually let's go back to the daily and let's use like Friday was a big swing. Let's hit the replay button and like go back to about there. And right now, from this scenario, they've traded into a bullish order block, a set of bullish order blocks right here. They're also, oh, my mouse, sorry. They're also at the base of this bullish order block, but let's say that guy right there, they've traded back down into it. So what I want to do now is go down into the 15-minute. And for the previous day, so this is the 24th, Friday. All right, it's 24th. So I want to see what happened between 2 and 8 p.m. the day before, 23rd. So I'm just gonna get a box here. All right, so this is 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock. All right, so that's the range. It's a pretty big range, I think. How many ticks is that? Guess I'll use this. It doesn't matter. Just want to see. So that's a lot of ticks. Too big. It's too big of a range. And then where's midnight? Grab this. Where is midnight? Midnight's right there. And then let's see what happened between 8 and 12. So the range between, I'm just gonna use the bodies. That's 8 and 12 is really small. Okay. And so what happened after midnight? Price just dropped. It just kept dropping. Doesn't really, given all of this, it doesn't really fit any profiles that I'm looking for. Let's backtrack. And here's the 23rd. What happened before that? Okay, so let's delineate midnight right there. And then I want to see, it's 8:30, so 8 o'clock to midnight. The bodies, it's not too big. And then 2 o'clock, about here to still pretty big range. The range is so big, we don't really have a lot of opportunities here. So let's see. So we just kind of consolidated. And then, yeah, these days, let's get back out to the daily. These days aren't the best. They're small days, they don't do anything. Let's backtrack even further. Let's say we're going to go bullish here, and let's go ahead and delete these. What I'm trying to understand is the Judas swing between the London session and the New York session and how to kind of work with that. Okay, so this is the 13th, and that's going, right, so this is the 13th. Let's use the previous day's activity. Okay, the 12th. All right, so where's the midnight? Right there. And I want to see what the Asian session looked like. So 8 o'clock. Small range, I like that. And then the 2 o'clock range. Okay. Well, so the 2 o'clock range to 8 o'clock. It's not as bad. Let's see how many ticks that is. Just use that part. 82.75. That's pretty big. Consolidated. All right, so where's 2 o'clock in this grouping here? It's 2 o'clock. Let's get on to the 5-minute. Well, with that kind of consolidation and annoying whipsawing, we didn't see anything useful. At all. These profiles aren't doing it for me. Can't find it. I'm gonna have to practice more. But I guess in the meantime, let's go ahead and see if we can find, let's come out to the daily, see if we can't find these different breaker blocks. All right, so where have we rolled up into? Bearish order block, right there. So I'm just gonna head and I'm gonna delineate everything I can see, right? So bearish order block, let's bring it down. And let's just, so daily bearish OB, right there, so they came up into it. They also traded up into this fair value gap right there. So we're just kind of hanging out inside of that. Daily FEG. I can't type, obviously, don't judge me. Okay. They've come back into an old low right here. So let's delineate that. Or I should say old high. High, daily. Okay, let's give that a different color. And they've also traded into this bullish order block right there. So all I'm doing is delineating the higher time frame PD arrays. So we're aware where we are when we go down into the lower time frames, right? So they've traded back down into this bullish order block right here. What else we got? Let's see. I feel like this becomes a breaker block because we traded past it because we're coming down. And we've got a lower thing here, then a lower thing here, then we traded past it. So now we're at a breaker block right here, I think, unless it's this one because of the big wick. Let's assume this candle with the body above it, and let's drop that there. Let's see how they overlap. Not quite. Let's call that so that becomes a bullish breaker. Okay. So, anything else that we should be aware of? Let's see, consequent encroachment of this wick, perhaps. Okay. Just make sure, just trying to see everything I can see in the general vicinity. And then, what's the consequent encroachment of that? And let's do that. And let's make that dash so I still know it's CE, but CE of something else. And in terms of the range, we are in premium discount. And then I'm going to delineate the midpoints of these guys so I know where we kind of switch between the inside levels as well. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to drop that there, and then I'm going to do that, make it that. All right, then I'm going to borrow that, bring it to, oops, hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's grab that one. Sorry, there we go. And let's make sure those align. Perfect. And we're going to do the same thing down here. So premium and discount within the premium and discount. Can't believe that, right? Crazy. And then delete that. Okay. And good, kitty's eating. All right, so now we have a bunch of ranges in here. Let's drop down to the 4 hour. I know it's just gotten really messy, but let's see where we see what's happened. Oh, look. How amazing is this? The daily order block, the bullish order block is where they came, bounced, went back up, right? And then the consequent encroachment of that wick, right? The midway point between the consequent encroachment of the first wick. They also was in the same place, very strong, right? Giant fair value gap, right? And take all of it, and then they moved. Now, on the 4 hour, we have a lovely shift that happened here. They came back up into this. I'm fascinated. Did they come back up into consequent encroachment of that wick? Just above it. Now, in this scenario, like setting an order here would not be a bad idea, I think. Also, did they come to mean threshold of the bodies of this candle? Let's see. Just about. So mean threshold of this candle, consequent encroachment of that one. I mean, not bad. And then they came back up into this order block, gave you an opportunity. They might be giving us another opportunity to go short from in here. So let's drop to the 1 hour and see what is happening. All right, so we're at an old low. Yeah. So they've stopped at this bullish order block. Fascinating. Let's come back down. So what's my bias right now? I'm at short, I think. it's short, but it all depends on what I get, you know, because very nice drop there. They balanced price out pretty well here. Wick didn't leave very much. Anything here? Didn't leave very much either, except for the bullish order block right there. But this is where they left us a little bit of a present. Fair value gap right there on the 15-minute. Okay. So what do we have? We have fair value gap. We've got I'm gonna add more stuff to here. Bearish order block up there. Some of them negative OB. And then I'm gonna turn that red right there. And nothing else super exciting above it, right? Would we be considering this general vicinity a mitigation block? Come back into it if people were like net long after this and we drop below it. So would be inside a mitigation block right here. So this whole thing would be a mitigation block. I'm gonna grab that, and I'm just gonna delineate where we are in the general vicinity of things. It's a lot to work with, right? So 15-minute, you've got this guy, which seemed to be turning around with price. We had a shift right here. So let's drop it down into the 5-minute. Maybe we can get some sort of entry. So, okay. Tiny fair value gap right here. They're inside of the base of this guy. Seems to be acting as resistance. We're inside of the mitigation block. The top of it, they've tapped it, but not gone through it. No bodies have closed above it. So I think we're boding well here for a short. What would be my target? I mean, obviously down here, we have all these other strong areas here and here. I would drop my fib from here. Oh, relatively equal highs right here. I drop it here, base of that. So if I'm aiming for all the way down here, then this is my target right there. If we're going short, let me see if I can get to 4 minutes. Okay. All right. So what do I have? So we have bullish order block here. We have a small fair value gap right here. I know there's so many. So it could pop back up into here. So I'm looking for a short from the base of this guy right there. So when it pops up there, and my stop loss is right above it, right there. And then of course, I am doing my long game play here. Okay. It's on the 4 minutes. So what's that? It's a lot of pips. This guy could also be a good play right here. 438.75. And how many would that be? I mean, we can specify take profit right here. Take some off the table. And then what else do we have down here though? Let's think about like, here's a bullish order block right here. So it might want to stop. So maybe I don't be super greedy about it. Maybe I, aim for this guy. Still pretty big, 156 pips, right? If we can get it, right? So let's say I had like 3 contracts, right? That I bought here. I would take off 2 here and let the last one ride and moving, and see what happens with my stop loss above here is what I would think. All right, let's zoom in on this action, which is super, whoops, what just happened? Sorry about that. And what time is it? Oh, it's like 5 o'clock. That's why it's so dead. Let's see if Asian market gives us what we want. So this should be 6 o'clock, right? Now, this is probably a good time for me to check the range, right? Let's see. So this is 2 o'clock right here, and we haven't quite made it to 8 o'clock yet, so it's 6. Let's do that. So that's 8 o'clock. This will be about 8 o'clock right there. All right, let's see how this plays out because it's after hours. Just realized, so it's probably going to be super boring. And then maybe the Asian markets will give us something. So while we're looking at this, the range for this seems to be 24.75. That's good. That's good. I like that. Let me adjust this different color, and I'm gonna do central bank daily range, and given this is what I want right there, and that's the daily range. And what have we, oops, that, what have we done for the rest, most of the day? We've like ridden our way up to this guy. So let's see what we get. We have a shift. Let's see what they do. So I wouldn't have entered anything. I'm gonna hit the buy or sell button down here when it does what I want. So I'm just gonna delete that. And let's see. So that's the range. Beautiful. So I'm gonna just clone that. And I'm just gonna go like 1 standard deviation down with it. And I'm gonna assume that's the range for the that I'm looking for of movement for the day. All right, which is within my projections for what I want. So, and let's delineate this one as 1 SD. 2, let's clone that as well. Grab that. Would that be within my estimations? So 2 standard deviations for the day will look like that for a range. So I want to get like 70% of that move, which would be about where I wanted to stop anyway, right there. So bigger white line for, oh, midway point. So like right there. It's not bad. All right, so we've hit Asia. Set of order blocks here. So let me take this off the moment. Zoom in on this. I'm using the 4 minute, so oh, we don't get to see the minute trailing down. So I'd like for midnight to come and then see about trading the London session. Let's say I stayed up late, right? It's 10:30. What I like about what I'm seeing right now is the range for the Asian session from 8 o'clock. It's about here is really small. That's not too bad. So, okay. Almost there. Okay. Okay, so that's the Asian sessions range. So it's small and that's not too bad. So I'm okay with that. So let me turn this light on. Okay, so let's see what it does between 12 and 2, right? And this is if we're trading the London session. Let me do a little delineation here. I'm gonna do about 12 to about 3, 2 to 5, sorry, right there. All right, so what time is that? That's 1, 2 o'clock right there. All right, so let's specify that as London AM session. Well, kill zone, whatever, same thing. Oh, sorry guys. 1 second. Let's put that inside and let's change the color. And let's just delineate it as that. Center that and make it a little bigger so we can see it. Let me take a quick pause. We're back. All right, so I'm going to delineate between midnight and 2 a.m. Why? So I want to see what happens, what they do in this space, right? To let me know if I'm going to go short the way I wanted to over here. And we've seen what the range that I'm looking for is. And all of this is looking very, very juicy and simple, right? Fair value gap all the way over here. Let's zoom in. Mitigation block. I know what the range is approximately for the day. And order block, relatively equal highs here. So they could run this out and then continue back down. So let's see. Can we get down to 3 minutes? You know what? I'm not gonna risk it because every time I try that, it just messes me up. All right. So if they're gonna go back down, I want them to come up, take out all of this, maybe even that, and then give me an opportunity before 2. So let's see. Wow, they are boring as. Is this like before like a news day or something? Tuesday the 14th. Let's check because all these things matter. Because they could just be. Let's backtrack. So we're hanging out. This is the 14th. What happened on the 14th? Ah, this is pre-CPI. That's why it's so dead. Yeah, it's probably gonna remain dead. This test is kind of ridiculous, but because it's pre-CPI, most likely I wouldn't take anything this day. But let's see how it plays out. That's why you gotta know, right? See what London does. Okay, so now they've just been silent. Oh, let me move this. It's just my estimate. Okay, because maybe we can get like something in before. All right, here we go. So at 2:30, they're deciding to do something. So they didn't do it initially. So let's see. All right, let me pull everything over so I can see when they do what they do. And we're inside this, the top of the mitigation block. We have this other fair value gap that's in there. And we have this bullish order block. So let's see. So now we're getting some movement. I'm gonna call this a Judas swing. What did they just do? Let's note that they took out these relative equal highs right here. So buy side, they took that out. There is relative equal highs up here as well. Let's see if they're going to take that and tap that puppy. Let's see. But a lot going on in here. So my expectation is they're probably not going to do it, but that means that Monday would have made the high of the day. Tuesday could still do it. They give me a reason. Let's look at this. Did you create anything useful? That's a no. They're inside of this guy. Okay. Took that out instead. They leave me some sort of set of bullish order blocks right there. Rejecting. The fair value gap is rejecting them mitigation block. So if I was more experienced, my entry would be probably from about here. So let's see. I'd prefer if they left me something else, but we are inside a fair value gap. And look how they came back into it right there. Beautiful, right? For an entry right at the base of that. It's like as I was saying, right? Like this is what I'm trying to learn, right? Right at that. So you could take the body really because it's so small. And stop loss right above that. And we know what the range is, right? And we know what we're aiming for. So just about there. Now this is a shift that could have been one style of entry. Actually, you could put it above the wick right there. That could be one style of entry. I don't know. See. Okay. I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself like I need another fair value gap to form here, but do I really? I mean, think about it. They've taken all the buy side from up here. They've taken this. They're inside of a fair value gap already and a mitigation block from a higher time frame. Like uh, they could create a better entry. Let's see. And let me just make sure I'm aware. This is till 5 a.m. Now this could play out until London close, which would be a noon, all the way to noon. So London close is from like 10 a.m. to noon. That's London close. And then New York open, at least from a Forex perspective, is like 7 a.m. The kill zone anyway should be 7 a.m. to about 10 or 11 or something like that. All right. So, I mean, if we'd gotten in here, we'd be doing relatively decent. Yeah, I said decent. But look, so it wasn't my ideal entry, right? But they're giving us multiple opportunities to get back in. Shift. Now, what I like now is they've left me this fair value gap here. I don't expect them to bust past it now. Order block right here, maybe another decent entry would be midpoint or the base of this candle. Let's see. Oh, just for funsies. Let's see what the midpoint of this candle is. Sorry, with the wicks. Small wicks. Oh, look at that. Look at how beautifully they tapped it. Oh, wait. It's not quite perfect. Oh man, zoom in. Zooming in. Did they really? They really do that. Is it exactly at the top? Just about. Almost. So close. So that's why this one's probably a good plan or like midway between the two of those, you know? So if this is um, mean threshold, actually, I'm sorry. Did I just measure? So that's mean threshold for the candle. Sorry, I meant to measure the mean threshold between consequent encroachment. See if I got that right. Yeah, I don't have the right thing. Hold on. Let's delete that. You come back here. So mean threshold between consequent encroachment. Huh. They didn't quite make it up there, but that's they did for the mean threshold for the candle itself almost. Fun. Let's see about the body. They respect the body more? Nope. Okay. So zoom back out. So they came into this bearish order block right here. Well, this big one, really, but all right, well, let's continue. Oh, see, that's why I hadn't really entered as like a thought, right? Wow, look at that. So this guy, right? They didn't really give me the what I was looking for. It didn't look right. That's why I was like, this is a potential. We don't know if it's gonna work, but all right, so it would be stopped out. So I haven't pressed the button. But I want them to take this. Oh man, what time did that happen? 4 o'clock. What a move. There they took it right there. None of these are really rejection blocks for me, so did we just create a rejection block? Dang. What a move. What a move. Like, what just happened at 4 a.m. on the 14th? Nothing? This is the thing about trading, like you just don't know. Like this guy was worrying for me because I thought, yeah, they're probably gonna want to take that. And they do. Fun. Did they give us an entry? An opportunity? Because that's a rejection block. But look at the way they've traded, right? Like this is the midnight open. They've been trading above it the whole time. So I'm thinking they're still going down, right? The 4 minutes not my forte though. Like I can't really get anything juicy. But I personally, for this scenario, this, oops, that's not what I wanted. The midpoint of this wick, they shouldn't pass it. And I don't really want them to get past here. There's nothing exciting going on up there. What a move. Even if you'd entered here, let's say your stop loss was above here, you'd have been okay. Above this bullish order block. Now, funny enough, let's see, what would that have looked like? Because this entry right here would have been there, right? And I originally said here, above that mitigation block. What kind of stop would that have been? 35 ticks. It's a lot. Anyway, so we're diving back up. So I'm going to take mean threshold of this, the body of this guy. Like at most, if it's going to come up, I don't want it to go past the body of that. Let's see. Get it. What time is it? So kill zone coming in. They've made their high potentially of the week. Look at that. Mean threshold. Tapped it. So I'd like them to take something out for a short idea. I know I'm short biased at the moment, but they're going up. Let's watch the bodies of these candles. Do they close above this guy? back up to that area they just took out, dropping precipitously. Mm, got a body over here. Mean threshold about just about there. Let's see. They tapped about mean threshold, didn't they? Look. Let's see. Yeah. This is a little bit off on the top there. Still a little off. Gotta be just right. Haven't quite tapped it yet. All right, let's see what they do. Okay, that's the low I want them to take out. Rejection wick, rejection block right here. What time is it? 5. All right, never mind. I am wrong. This is why I'm... Okay, we'll come up on the order block. You want to eat the rest of this guy. And you ignore the mitigation block, so let's get rid of that. You hung on a little bit in here. Well, let's keep that guy. If I'd drawn it over, I would see he was acting as resistance. I have a hard time switching my bias, you know? So I've definitely made the high of the day reaching for this order block. Let's see. It's 528. Okay. So I've most definitely missed the long opportunity. Did I get it? Did I? So I think my bias was just wrong because they were already going long, right? And they consolidated and then they continued on up. Still working that out. But in my mind, once we got this shift, they roll back up into this order block and just kind of hung out. I should have known. They're just hanging out. So does that mean that the range is in the opposite direction, right? The range is so about there instead. I don't know. We haven't gotten into anything yet. We've had a little bit of tiny move. And I'm gonna get out of the 4-minute because it doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me. Let's use the 5-minute. Okay, we're at this order block. So now it's very firmly bullish. I don't know why I thought we were going bearish, especially when it didn't take these out. Still need to work out my thought processes around these things. Well, in that case, let's dip back out to the 15. What's up here? So there's plenty of buy side right here. And what do we have? We have bearish order block right there. Just delineate that, the base of it. The last place price turnaround, so you have to like zoom out, right? So B, the higher time frame. Okay, and they're just digging further into the daily fair value gap. So, okay, London's done. We're coming into New York. All right, get on to the 5-minute. And I mean, honestly, this is already, they had a bearish order block. They just blew right past it. Yeah. Just know this is New York. Kill zone. Technically, it should be like 8:30, but remember we have on this, excuse me, on this day, CPI is going to come out. So again, and let's look at this in hindsight because that's all I got right now. What do? They did some consolidating in the Asian, then they shifted, they dropped lower and then shifted up. I was so short biased that I missed the signs for the bullish version of this. So after midnight, they moved down a little bit, but didn't take that out. So it's delayed. Then right after this is 2 o'clock. They did the delayed drop after 2 o'clock, and then brought it back up. Wow, I really need to practice more. I mean, seriously, I really do. I really, really do. So much practice before I can put my money on the line with these types of moves. What's the low of this candle? 12,523.50. And it's the high of this candle. 12,523.75. So if I take this guy as the order block, nice. Gave us another opportunity after they did the whipsawing right there. And now it's climbed away. This is how you can get stuck in bias, y'all. That's why I'm working through all of this because I didn't really see what I wanted. Didn't give me anything I was looking for. Not really. So I said, here's a hypothetical, but not technically what I would enter. All right, so we're just gonna continue on down. Now this is dipping towards this bearish order block over here. It's at the very bottom of it on the higher time frame, so there's a lot of it further up. So I didn't want to like. So if we zoom out, what have we been doing, right? We hit a crescendo at an old low right here, and then we've just been climbing and climbing, retracing back a bit, climbing and climbing. So based off of that range, you could estimate 12, 17, 18, or somewhere about that. Let's see if we get there. And I'm going to take it from the low of the day that's created. So approximately about, just about, which coincides with this. So the range for them to go up if that's what they want to do. Okay, we're thinking about it. We're hanging out inside this bearish order block. And 650, 655. All right, we just hit 7 o'clock. So let's see. Now, if we're still bullish, they've just come into this fair value gap right here. They've tapped it a little bit. Bullish order block right there. Let me get rid of some of this. Okay. Now, London didn't make the high of the day. It made what could potentially be the low of the day. So we have this, we have that for a potential entry. Let's see. But FOMC still need to not do anything. All that juju swinging. Best you can do is like try and get something before it happens, maybe, you know? Still edging higher. Yep. So This, on a day like this, I probably wouldn't do anything. Let's go midpoint between that. Stop loss just below there. Oh, wrong one. Long position. So if I'm expecting them to come back down, let's say a little bit into there. There. Stop loss below there. And then just a little bit above that. Let me just inch this to the side right there. And in terms of targeting, I've got this high here, so I just want something just a little bit above it. That's it. Nothing too fancy. So there. And I wanted to tap that before 8:30. Right? So let's see. Well, it looks like they just decided to go for that order block. So I wouldn't have gotten an entry. Well, just a little bit more. Am I going to get it? Because midpoint is probably the best choice. So I first said midpoint. Did they tap midpoint? Yeah, they did. All right, let's see if we get this small move. Really? It can't be that much. Well, it always seems overinflated when you're doing it like this. I've got my lower entry. Oh, look at that. That's what they do before 8:20, right? Like that's what they do. So you'd want to like get in and get out quickly. That's why my aim was that. So that would have worked. Now that my bias is firmly, I should have known. So much practice. But look at that. And I bet it whipsaws back down for 8:30. Yep. Mm-hmm. And does some crazy stuff. That's why you don't trade FOMC. But, if you can get away with smaller moves beforehand, it's not bad. Like this move up was not bad at all. If I'd understood what was happening, it was very delayed. They didn't take this out. Should have known. Like once they took that out, yeah. Well, hindsight and all that jazz. But wow, look at that mean awfulness right there. Everybody's out of the game. Everybody's been taken out. Well, all that says to me is I'm still have a ton of practice to figure out the market swings and the profiles. But for like the smaller things before the news thing, because look at that one, I would have been out beautifully. But right after, no. Anyway, so I'm gonna keep on trucking. Man, there's so much light coming out of that window. I'm gonna keep on trucking. I hope you guys are too. Okay. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful week. Let me know your thoughts on the analysis because this is how, as new traders, we get trapped, right? We just don't understand the proper bias for the day. And because we don't understand it, we fall into these traps and we miss things. And in this moment, you just watched me have a very bearish mindset and I didn't see the signs that it wasn't going the opposite direction. That's why I'm still learning and growing every day. So I hope your journey is coming along nicely. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you feel like it. Shakira, out.